Welcome back to another episode of STL Real Estate Roundtable. I'm your host, Jaden Barr, CEO and team leader of Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield. And today I'm joined by a very special guest. Tracy Raspberry. Tracy, thanks for joining.
Sure, glad to have. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive right in. I pretty much start every episode the same way, which is what got you started in a career in real estate?
What really got me started was my great-grandmother. She owned real estate, and one day she came to me and she said, "Let's go for a walk." So we went for a walk through the neighborhood, and she pointed out all the houses that she owned, and she said, "Well, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a cowgirl." She said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, that's what I want to be." And she said, "Tracy, you can do that, but," she said, "what you really want is to own real estate." And she pointed out every home that she owned. And she said, "So what do you think about that?" And I said, "Well, then I want to be rich." And she said, "Well, then you need to own real estate." So that's how it all got started. It just kind of stuck with me from there. And as life went on, I got married, became a housewife. And I was thinking to myself, what can I do where I can make money and not give up my duties or responsibilities as a mom and as a housewife? And real estate came to my mind. So I began to research how to become a realtor. I became a realtor, and the rest was history, because I wanted a career, well, thanks to my great-grandmother for sowing the first seed. And then after that, I wanted to be with my kids. I wanted to have a career where my kids could come along. And they did. And it was awesome. So
That's great. That's great. So when did you get licensed? How long ago was this?
I was licensed in 2001. And been licensed since then.
Okay. Yeah. And it's been nothing but sunshine and rainbows, correct?
Well, for the most part, but there have been some challenges.
Yeah.
You have the downturns in the market, the ups and downs, and you have, of course, growing pains and just the learning curves to perfect your business and master your skill.
Yeah.
So, but through it all, if you stay consistent and you persevere, it's a blessing. Then you get the rainbows and sunshines.
Yeah.
All the other
sky's the
stuff
limit,
that comes
right?
with it. Yeah.
Well, we'll touch on the growing pains here in just a minute, but I want to start with kind of what's the career growth looked like, and kind of what have been some of, you think, the keys to your success? Because you have this amazing business now, right? So has it always been that way, or
Pretty
kind of?
much, yes, out the gate.
Yeah. Okay.
Out of the gate.
Okay.
When I did acquire my license, I belonged to a family-oriented church. And word got around that I had was getting my real estate license. So someone called me and they said, "How's everything going with real estate?" And I said, "Oh, it's fine. I just passed my test." And she said, "Great. I need you to sell my home." And I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah. I hadn't placed my license. I hadn't picked a company. I hadn't considered a brokerage. The only thing I thought was I got my license, put it in the cabinet, curio cabinet, and went on with my day. Just back to usual, being a mom and take care of the home."
Yeah.
And so after that, I talked to my husband. I said, "Someone wants me to sell their home. I don't know what to do." And so, we got on the internet, looked up brokerages, and I went to several places all in one day. And the key for me was, in selecting that brokerage, was, can I bring my kids to the office? 5 of them told me no. 1 of them told me yes, absolutely. I placed my license there, and the rest was history. From one listing to the next week, another listing, and the word traveled around the church, and I became the realtor, there.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out to that one person for just, trusting you right out the gate. Right?
Yes. And I knew absolutely nothing. And they were so patient with me. So they were understanding. And I was blessed that the company that I did place my license with, they had mentors there. And they mentored me through the process.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
it was good.
That's awesome. So through kind of like the career growth, what have been some of those growing pains that you mentioned earlier? Kind of what would have been the challenges along the way?
Some of the biggest challenge and most new realtors face is rejection, hearing the no's, or not getting the listing, or a relative working with a different realtor because they don't want to mix the family business and all of that with business, whatever they want to call it. And you got to grow thick skin. The rejection really grows you, and it helps you to develop thick skin and press on in. So it really can become an asset instead of an enemy if you let it groom you. Because sometimes, the no's, it's not no for the long haul or the long term, but it's just no for now.
Yeah.
Maybe later. And it gives you courage to just keep knocking.
Yeah.
Till the doors just fly open.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where you have to continue to follow up, right? Unless they tell you to stop, keep following up, right?
That's the main thing. To your point, follow up, be consistent, stay disciplined, stay the course, wear people down. Just wear them down.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of your business coming from your church community.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
then from there, word of mouth, referrals. I did dive into lead generation, internet, investing in different companies. I also, mailers. I really didn't do much of social media. My presence was there, but at that particular time, it wasn't as popular as it is now. Struck up conversations, even with strangers. You got to be unafraid of having a conversation and approaching people.
Yeah.
Whether you know them or not. If you're at the park, when I would take my kids to go play it, see families there, other moms, and sneak over and talk to them. We have a conversation and get to know them. And then all of a sudden, I would slip in, I'm a realtor. And, that's what I did. And if they needed help with anything, or if they ever needed to sell a home or buy a home, just everywhere I went, I just learned the art of conversation.
Yeah.
And somehow just bringing up the topic that I was a realtor.
Yeah.
Talking to people as if they were my best friend.
Yeah.
And I've known them forever.
Yeah, I think I love this industry just because everybody is curious about real estate, right? And so it's not a hard topic to bring up. Right? Everyone wants to know how the market's doing, what their home is worth, what interest rates are at.
Yeah.
And it's never a difficult conversation once you just ask the question, right?
At all.
Okay, so as far as, selling a ton of real estate, right? How do you manage your time and your sanity with all the business that you have?
Well, not very well in the beginning. That was tough. It was rough.
Yeah.
That was another challenge.
Yeah.
Delegating. The key is delegating. The best thing a realtor can do is to prepare themselves for, if you plan on becoming a top producer, plan on it. Create a plan. Have those pieces in place before it even happens.
Yeah.
Know who your go-to people will be. The admin person. Set whatever you make, set a small sum aside to be able to have the finances to pay for the additional help, because it's definitely necessary. It's needed. You can burn out quickly. And then there's inconsistencies, and then conversations that are not had because you're tired, or missed opportunities that you didn't notice because you're stretching yourself too thin.
Right.
Don't be afraid to have a buyer's agent. Don't be afraid to hire a transaction coordinator. And they're a vital organ in your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of top agents really struggle with, right? Is they want to wear the cape and do everything themselves. And before you know it, they are burnt out. And it's difficult, right? You never want to be hiring out of pain.
Exactly.
Because then you're probably going to make a rush hire and it'll probably be the wrong hire. And then you'll be right back where you started 3 to 6 months later.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So what advice would you give to an agent that's looking to grow their business to the level that you're at?
Again, to have a plan to be successful. Talk to top producers, find out what they did, the mistakes that they made, how they overcame them. Also, definitely attend technology classes, motivational classes, as many classes as you can. Even if you can shadow someone, a top producer, that helps a lot. To also just be patient. Some agents aren't patient enough to cultivate their business. They want it now, and they want it too quickly. And if they just stay the course, discipline, consistency, follow up, follow through, you got to love people. You got to have a passion for it. You got to stay thirsty.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I love it. So, I think we all go through seasons that are more challenging than others, right? We go through seasons of abundance and growth, and the deals are coming in, everything like that. But then there's also seasons where deals are falling apart and we're struggling, with, bringing in new business or the obstacles with growth. So like whenever those challenges come into your world, how do you handle that, and how do you overcome?
Prepare financially.
Yeah.
Prepare financially. Don't spend your money. Spend as little as possible. So when you do have the dry season, you have planned to support yourself.
Yeah.
To also stay connected with people. That's your business. That's your bread and butter. Have your A, B's, and C's. That's what I was taught. A clients, B clients, C clients. Revisit the C's. Keep a relationship with them. Even those that may not have perfect credit, keep a relationship with them. One day, their credit is going to turn around and change.
Right.
And during those dry spells is when they're ready to purchase. So you got to think of ways and create ways to keep yourself in the black. And mainly, key, plan for it. Yeah. Financially plan for it. Set aside money for the downturns.
Yeah. And that removes the stress and the burden that comes
anxiety
with it, right? And so you can still have clarity, still be productive whenever you are in that season.
And during those seasons, that's the time to educate yourself, re-strategize, plan, prepare, tweak, implement more, or take some things out, self-inventory.
Yeah.
And also self-talk.
Yeah. I was taught for anything that you're investing in, right? Whether it's leads or a new system or even a hire, right? You should see a 4 times return on that investment. So 4 times ROI. And so tracking that over 30, 60, 90 days.
Yep.
And if you're not seeing the return, then something needs to change, right?
Exactly.
So you can cut it, or depending on the time frame that you're looking to see that return in. It's just kind of a good rule of thumb that I was taught whenever I got licensed. So
that's great.
Yeah. So as far as looking at this business that you've built, the consistency you've had over time, what would you say you're most proud of?
I would say for me is the relationships that I built, staying in contact with them beyond the transaction. Most of my transactions turned into friendships, because they were so used to my staying in constant contact with them. It became a routine for them. They're like, I'm not used to hearing your voice anymore.
Yeah. Right.
So I would say really the key to this business, and any business, be it real estate or whatever it is that you're doing, if you're an entrepreneur, be a serial entrepreneur, always touch people. Always touch people. Always remember them. It's important to follow up, even on anniversary dates. This is the date that we close on your home, or, oh, I remembered it's your birthday, or those special days or occasions, or whatever it is. Reach out to them. People love to hear from you.
Yeah.
They love to know that you remember them and remember their name.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of agents that watch this podcast, right, I think social media is a dangerous world to live in, right? Because all you're seeing are people's highlight reels, right? And so on these podcast episodes, I really like to dive into kind of the behind the scenes of being a real estate agent, because from the outside looking in, it might look very easy, right? And like it's all just selling sunset out here, and it's not, right? So take me into kind of some of the behind the scenes of running a real estate business, and if there's anything along the way throughout your real estate career that you would have done differently or changed throughout your career journey.
I probably would have prepared better, having people in place to delegate and also hand business off to, instead of trying to handle it all myself.
Yeah.
Although I creatively managed it because I love working.
Yeah.
But still, you have to take time for yourself, for self-care, not neglect traveling, doing things that you love to do. And also, mainly just delegating so that you can focus more on the things you love doing, and that's touching people, having conversations, listening to their needs, and being present, even more so.
Yeah.
And then you can create new ways of reaching people, of just growing your business, and so on.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying there is find ways to create memorable moments with the people
Correct.
that are in your world.
Yes.
I'm curious, do you have any pivotal moments throughout your career that you look back on and say, you know what, that really kind of shaped me and put me on a new trajectory, or was a big moment with your own personal growth?
Yeah, I
aside from your great grandmother.
COVID. During that time, the world shut down. I didn't shut down. My son was in, I hope this answers your question. My son was in college to become a doctor, the tuition bill. And I hunkered in, I pressed in, and mainly to be organized and structured and disciplined. I had to change how I did everything because of the disease, I changed outfits 5 times a day, and I had to narrow down. I created a uniform system, 5 pair of pants, 5 shirts, and a couple of pairs of shoes. And I had to, after every appointment, I washed, put on a new outfit, meal prepped because you couldn't go to a restaurant. But that literally was a turning point of my career. Notes, notepads. I relied on my phone, the notepad on my phone, to be completely organized. Completely organized. I dealt with a high volume of people because it was not a lot of realtors out there. I couldn't mess up. I had to be available.
Yeah.
So that really, at that point, I had to come up with creative ideas and ways to manage the business. So I said, when the world opens up, this is what I would do differently. Hire someone, do this and that,
Yeah.
I worked 12-hour days, sometimes 14, 7 days a week. It was challenging, but it had me thinking to myself that, futuristically, you need a staff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need help.
Leverage and efficiency,
All of
right?
that.
Sounds like
Scaling, all of
really
it.
shaped.
So important.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the top challenges of top producing agents?
Delegating.
Yeah.
Control, letting go of control. Our biggest issue is letting go of control, believing that someone can duplicate, or even do it better than us. Yep.
And we all have unique skill sets, right?
Yeah.
And there's definitely things that I'm skilled in, or you're way more skilled than me, right? But we can complement each other to actually make the business better.
Yep.
So finding your person for the task that maybe you're not super great at, or that you simply don't enjoy doing, right? I think that's a big thing is, what do you actually enjoy about the business? And then keep that on your plate while delegating the rest, right? And focusing on those dollar producing activities that are actually going to move the needle in your business. And if you're spending...
And double and triple it.
Yeah. If you're spending 20, 30 hours a week on, things that someone else, an admin, could do, then that's probably not the most efficient way to run your business, right?
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, at KW, we talk about a life by design, right? And having that life that you actually enjoy and building the business that funds the life you want to live, right? Speaking of KW, so you're at Keller Williams. Why KW?
What I loved about Keller Williams, and they had pursued me for quite some time, I loved how they prepared you, I thought, to succeed and to have a life by design, to know the importance of leveraging, delegating, and having a transaction coordinator, and to grow your business, and even tap into the talent that lied dormant and you didn't think of, that's even outside of real estate. I loved how they were so free with their knowledge, and they didn't feel threatened to share at all.
Yeah.
And it was like another family.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. You see our top agents, they're the ones leading the masterminds or the classes on, hey, I just sent out this neighborhood mailer and it got me 3 listings. You want to learn how to do it?
Yeah.
And it's not like they're playing with their cards close to their chest, right? It's like there's plenty of business out there for everybody to succeed at a really high level, right?
Success is within you. And what you're going to achieve, it's going to come from you. Period. Yeah. If I share my knowledge with someone else, it's up to them to put it into action. I could tell them I've shared knowledge with plenty of people, and they never put it into action.
Yeah.
So the success, I think they did well, but they weren't as successful as they could have been if they had disciplined themselves. So the point I'm making, to your point, is the key to, you can share your knowledge. You don't have to feel afraid of sharing what you did or the information you have, because it's really up to the individual to succeed. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it.
Right.
Your success depends on you. I always tell everyone, in whatever career path you have, your faith level and where your faith is what you're going to achieve and what you're going to see come back to you.
I love your mindset, and like, I feel like you just have a growth mindset, and you know, you think abundantly. Like how do you think you developed that over time, or like who was instrumental in and kind of helping you think that way?
Robin Leach.
Yeah.
I used to love to watch the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
There we go.
But also Bob Proctor. Bill Tracy. I loved motivational speakers. It's always been a high interest of mine to understand and know how the mind works. And also mainly God. You know, reading the Bible and wanting to, if I can go there.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't got to ask me.
Having all of the benefits that God said he promised in his word. People don't really realize abundant life and study it for themselves to know what God has for us. He said there are benefits. And I would pray and say, well, what benefits? You know? And it's a myriad of them. And as I began to read the Bible, and I realized God didn't design for us to have a struggle bus life. Of course, we have to create it, but I wanted to partake in every benefit, every gift, every blessing that he has for us. And just reading and constantly reading. Tony Robbins, I think his name is Joe McGee. And I read his book and it said, if the doctor told you had 3 months to live, what would you do? And the whole purpose of the book was don't die with your dreams inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I live every day like it's my last to make the most of every opportunity that throws away every fear and the what ifs and turning the what ifs into what if I did this? And what if I did that and it worked? What if I tried this? And this, that, and the other. It throws the fears away.
Yeah. You talk about the word and kind of what the word says, right? It says that Christ came so we could have life and have life abundantly, right?
Exactly.
And so, and that doesn't mean life abundantly with money, right?
Not all the time.
That comes from within, right? And then
that's the byproduct.
Yeah. One of my favorite verses to it is whatever you do, work heartily. It's not for man, but for the Lord, right? It's the Lord that you're serving. To the glory of God. Right? So just keeping that mindset of reminding yourself like where your identity is, because that's going to overflow into everything else that you're doing.
Exactly.
And how you work, how you view what you do will always impact how you do what you do, right? So if you're just thinking, oh, I'm just showing these properties, then there's not a lot of purpose behind that. But if you're thinking, hey, I'm setting a family up for...
Look, I'm a hostess for heaven.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. I love it.
This is the training ground. This is the practice ground. Because when we get to heaven, you're going to be handed your job duty. You're going to still have a job.
Right.
It's not going to be a harp playing and all of that.
Yeah.
You're going to have galaxies that you may govern, cosmos, whatever, so this is training ground right here.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So as far as most impactful books or podcasts, I know you mentioned several motivational speakers, but do you have an impactful book or podcast that has played a role in your development?
Several. As I mentioned, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Wallace Wattles.
Okay.
Wallace Wattles said, and I'm trying to remember it off of the top of my head, give more use value then you'll get back cash value.
Mm.
That stuck with me. Go above and beyond anyone's expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about the money. It's a byproduct.
Yeah.
See how you can add value to someone's life or the experience as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
No matter what the reward is, meaning the commission or the dollar amount that you'll get back, just go above and beyond.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
key.
that goes back to treating every client like an MVP, right?
Yes.
VIP.
Yes.
Right? Where, whether it's
a $50,000 home.
Right. Because, thinking back to like your first listing, right?
Yeah.
That turned into the next one, the next one, the next one, right? And so, I think having that mindset with every client that you serve is really valuable.
It's key. It's huge. Yeah. I had during the winter seasons, that's when most of the people who don't credit qualify will occupy your time. And most of the time, I'll take them out anyway. I'll ask them, what's your credit score, blah, blah, blah. I call it practice. I use them for practice to better my skill set, conversation, and just to stay in practice.
Yeah.
And we have conversations, and then by the spring, sometimes they're ready.
Yeah.
Some people may not think to use that to their advantage. Yeah. But, if you don't mind, it works.
Yeah. Tracy, before we'll let you go here, any other final thoughts or comments?
Final thought and comment.
Tell the world what they need to know.
Well, I'll say this. Put God first, then your family. I will say affirmations, they do work. They will reshape your mind and retrain your brain to see yourself and the outcome in a different light.
Yeah.
See yourself the way you want to be, but also design that and put things in place to achieve that. Be it a visualization board, even on your phone, speak it into existence and it will become so.
That's awesome. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for your time, which I know is very valuable. We appreciate you coming on. I know that everybody watching and listening is going to get a ton of value from this episode. So thank you.
I hope so. Thank you for having me.
All right.